Hey, good morning, Gina.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm awake.
That is a good thing.
Yeah, especially since I'm driving.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Good place to be awake. Morning, y'all.
Morning.
Hello,
Craig, you awake too?
I am just leaving the gym, wide awake.
Oh,
Nice. Here's smoker news. Who else has got something?
Oh, so I'm reading the one-page marketing plan.
Mm-hmm.
me too.
Okay, cool. So I called Anna G yesterday, and
Mm-hmm.
we had a conversation because I was kind of stuck. So she clarified some things for me and told me kind of how she put hers together. So yeah, I'm excited about that. So I've done the first section of the marketing plan. I'm on chapter 2, finishing up chapter 2. I didn't want to I didn't want to keep reading the book without doing the exercises because I
Very
know,
good.
yeah, usually when I go ahead like that, I don't come back and do the exercises.
Exactly. And you don't get as much out of it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm enjoying it so far.
So is this marketing plan an online marketing plan? What is it? What is it? Like, what's the overall?
Well, he has a one-page form that you can download, the one-page marketing plan, and you fill in the different sections. It's like three things, 3 or 4 different topics, like prospects. I can't remember now, but anyway,
Okay.
um, it's pretty good. But you can go online. I found some other things before I even got the book um, from him, um, and other people that were actually doing the one page marketing plan. So it's an interesting things on there. And also I've struggled making an avatar.
Yeah,
Um,
I had to make one
yeah,
of those yesterday too, and I struggle with that also.
yeah. So I did some research on that. On Google, found some other things, and these other people call it persona.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Persona.
hmm
Mhm.
So I was reading a lot of those, and so think I think I pretty much got it down. Well, got an idea, I should say, how to make this avatar persona
Okay.
thing. Before I talked to Anna, I was like going strictly after new construction. So I was trying to make an avatar for new construction buyers.
Mhm.
After I talked to her, she put it in perspective for me. So now um, it'll be um, builders slash contractors, investors, and new construction.
That's
So
good because that's capturing because if you just work with the one, you're just capturing the buyer side of the business. If you
absolutely,
other side, you capturing the listing side, and I'm a full firm, like hardcore believer in going after that listing seller side, unless you've been doing real estate for 25 years and like, no, this is my niche over here, and I rock at it. I do 40 to 100 and plus deals a year doing it this
yeah.
way. All right, fine.
And also with the investors, I could still do commercial.
Mhm.
It would be some commercial in there with the investors.
Yeah, the
Um,
builders could be too with large chunks of land and all
that's
that.
right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Um, so I had a plan that I was gonna go out. Well, I was gonna call on-site agents that I knew to
Mhm.
build my avatar. So she gave me her reasoning why she wouldn't do it, and it made sense because they have anybody walk off the street looking
Yep.
most of the time. Um, so once she kind of broke that down to me and, told me how she was doing hers, I took a step back and I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Um, so now I think I have the perfect avatar in mind. It'll be between 40 and like 56 years old. Um, they want to invest, um, different properties. I haven't figured it all out.
Do you want
But they even want
to A/B?
to,
Do you want to know how to A/B test it for really, really cheap if you have stuck between two?
yeah,
Okay, so come up with something that you can give away for free. It doesn't have to be hardly anything. I mean, it doesn't have to be
okay,
hard. And you do, if you've got a Facebook business page, you do, so we're doing this right now. We had 3 giveaways and we tested it for an email list and we're pretty sure it's this one, but I tossed it up on Facebook. I did it last night. I know it's not going to be this one. It's between one of these two because this one doesn't lead into the business I want. So I ditched that one. I went with these two. So you just put up an ad that offers your free giveaway, but you lead with this type on one ad, and then you copy the exact same ad and lead with the other type on this one and see which one gets the hits. And whichever one gets, you can shut the ad down in a day or two if you see 50 hits over here and 2 here or something like that.
Okay.
If you see this, it's like, okay, that's the direction to go with it. It's really cheap advertised. It's really cheap beta testing, if you will, A/B testing. It's really cheap A/B testing. So I ran the ad at $10 a day. I haven't looked at, I just started it last night. I think I finished it at I don't know, 6 o'clock at night or something. So I haven't looked at it yet this morning. Because to be really honest, I had to eat a quesadilla for breakfast because I ate it here on camera because I was running to get in here on time and get everything going. But anyway, so that's a cheap beta testing way to figure it out.
okay.
Cool. Very cool. What other kind of good news do you have? But I'm going to back up one second. The other thing I like about your good news is that it's us helping each other. And that is a cool thing. I really like that part of it too. So awesome sauce. All right. What else you guys got for good news? So how's your lead generation going? Let's hear it. What's going on and what's not going on in the lead generation world? Crickets. Go.
I'm working my way toward it. I almost have 1 year taxes done.
Congratulations, because I know that that's your thing you're trying to get done first. So yesterday when I was working out at the gym, and by the way, one of my good newses would be, those bands those big rubber bands, basically, I broke the really strong one. I'm like,
Oh, wow.
and so I was like, look at me go. And then one of the trainers, she goes, these ones keep breaking. I'm like, do not take my glory. This is my glory. I broke a band. Anyway, so we were talking and it was kind of funny because, thank you, Anna, because Sine, who's the one who owns the place, and she's done TEDx talks and all that kind of stuff. She's a really good speaker trainer and all that. She talked about how when she asked somebody, are you stretching at home? Are you doing this at home? Are you doing that at home? And it's quiet. She's like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, because the answer is no. If I talk to the agents and I'm like, how's your lead generation going? And it's crickets. It's like a nanosecond pause of, okay, it's not happening. And so I already know it is. All right. And I know that we talked briefly yesterday about shaking the bushes, that we got to get the bushes shaken up. And I know that has to happen also because I know that I know Anna's got a closing, but I'm not really seeing stuff on the books either. So let's open up the conversation about lead generation and what that looks like, or what you want to look like, or what you're thinking, or what problems you're having, or anything like that. Go, so that I know what direction to take this. Where are we?
My problem is because I'm sporadic with it. So my problem is twofold.
Your challenge is twofold.
My challenge is twofold.
Okay.
So when I'm not doing a good job of putting them into my CRM or any database, for one, and then two, I'm not setting aside a specific time to get my my lead generation in. And that's
Okay.
because I'm sporadic. I'm not when I do it well,
Mm-hmm.
but then I get lazy and I make excuses and I don't do it. And I'm like just pinging off of the wall again.
Permission
And
to be harsh with you.
absolutely.
On a 1 to 10 level, how harsh? 10 being I kick you on mute. 1. 10 being
That's a sign. He doesn't want it.
I know. And 1 being like, oh, piece of cake. Hang on, let me ask to unmute. Let's see if that helps you, darling. And Craig.
I think he's frozen.
No, okay, I see it there. There we go. Okay. 1 to
All right,
10.
my phone was ringing. I'm sorry.
Okay, on a 1 to 10 ratio, 10 being like I scream, yell, throw things at you, and a 1 being like I just pat you on the back and say, good job. Where do you want me?
Let's say that again.
Give me a 1 to
10.
10. Give me a 1 to 10 level of how harsh I can be, or how strong I can be, how firm with
Oh,
accountability.
10. Go ahead, 10. You can
All right,
curse
all
me
right.
out if you want. I don't know. I
Right.
don't care.
So let me ask you this. Have you, when you, some of your first jobs, like, you know, when you're a kid or whatever, a teenager, like, what did you work in? Did you work in food service? What did you do?
I actually worked on a golf course.
Okay, all right. And so was somebody, and you were not the boss, somebody else was telling you what to do?
hmm
Okay, and how hard did you work for that person?
Pretty hard.
How much money did you make an hour?
Oh my goodness.
Ish, I can't even remember my first job. It was like
Yeah.
$2 or something. I don't know, it was stupid, I'm
It
old.
was crazy.
Ballpark
It
me.
wasn't much. I was in high school. I'll say $5 or $6 an hour, maybe.
All right.
I don't know.
So you will work how hard, that hard for $5 or $6 an hour. How hard will you work for yourself?
Sometimes it seemed like I'm only working $5 or $6 an hour.
Bingo. All right. So this is something that one of my very first brokers told me. He said, most people fail in real estate. They don't make it because they will work harder at McDonald's than they would work in real estate for minimum wage. And I was
Yeah.
like, ah, and it hit me like such a gut punch because my first year in real estate, I thought that I was the coolest thing. I mean, I'm not even joking. I was like, look at me, I'm a real estate agent. I didn't do shit that first year. I did 4 units the first year because people came to me. And the first one was a family member who took pity on me. I was a pity agent. And that's not who I want to be. It was horrible. And when I heard that gut punch, it was like, he's right. I've never worked food industry or McDonald's or anything like that, but I do work really hard for other people. I really do. And so it was having to learn, how do I do this for myself? How do I put myself that I am worthy of working hard for? And it was, I mean, it took me, it was beginning of my second year when I got the gut punch, or end of my first year, one or the other, but my second year I worked my socks off. And I was like, my third year, my other years I worked my socks off, but I really needed that gut punch. So, and I think real estate is learning to kick your own butt. You know, part of it's there.
Mhm.
So knowing that, Mr. Craig, thank you for the opportunity because I know we're all on the same boat on a regular basis. So, and also knowing what I know about you and how you have the answers in you and how smart you are and centered and brilliant, really. What is it that what do you want to do? What does it look like? How does that fix? How do we do this? What do we put together?
I just got to get more discipline. You know, and I've got to get away and find another workplace. I can't continue to stay at home and work.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go somewhere else, another space, because I get too distracted at home with anything else that I'm doing that needs to be done. So I got to go and spend a few hours somewhere else, if it's only just for lead generation,
Mhm.
I got to do it.
Okay. What kind of places do you have your availability that you can get away with and spend a few, are you thinking a few hours, like, tell me what you're thinking, a few hours every day, a whole day a week, like or 2 days a week, like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking at least a few days a week, 2 or 3 days a week. So a mortgage broker has a office space that I can use. She's offered it to me. Um, I can go there and use it, for a little while. I can't make it a permanent space.
Mhm.
But a friend of mine also has office space that he's renting and he's not using. He uses it sporadically.
Mhm.
So he told me I can get the key from him and I can use his space as much as I want to.
Okay. And so, all right, so we've got space. And then when do we want to do that? And what does that look like? And how do we attach it to another? So when I wouldn't work out, which means I won't take care of myself, which means I'm not working for myself. And I was like trying to break that habit and build in a new habit before I actually, started going to the gym, because that's what I needed, was that accountability to another human being in that arena of my life. I started doing squats, and I tied it to a cup of coffee, because at the time now I'm on tea, but I'm still going to drink 27 million cups of this stuff a day. And I would not allow myself to have a cup of coffee until I did 10 squats, and which doesn't sound like very much, but if you drink 10 cups of coffee a day, by the end of the day, you've got 100 squats in. And, fine, I'm a coffee addict. But I attached it to that because I attached it to something that there's no way I'm not going to like you work out. And so maybe attaching to something that you do on a regular basis might be a good way to, if I do this, I have to do that. So
Gotcha.
that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for tying this into something. And what times do you want to do it? And what does that look like? And PF, what is wrong with you?
Life happens. Duncan helps.
Oh my gosh.
Uh,
So
Oh,
that
Sorry,
makes-
when you said you're a coffee addict, I was like, I'm right there with you, girl.
I meant the donut side. I was like, all right, no donuts. Blah. Anyway, all right.
I'm
So
sorry I interrupted your train of thought, which was
you're
amazing.
so fine, sweetheart. It's hilarious. Comic relief is good. All right, Mr. Craig, what's it gonna look like? What do you want to do?
So when I don't do lead generation, I'm gonna do core work, abs. Yeah, cause that's what I hate doing in the gym anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'll do some core work.
Okay, all right. So you've got that flip side of it, which is good. Okay, when are you going to do it? What's your schedule? What's it going to look like?
Can I get back to you on that?
When do you think you can carve things out?
Let's see.
'Cause
If I
it's
can
nice,
get in touch with,
it's nice and early in the morning when you leave your gym.
yeah. If I can get in touch with my friend to get the key, I can start tomorrow.
Perfect. What hours?
Yeah. Let's see. I get done at the gym at 8:38, so I can start at 9.
So perfect. That's what I wanted to know. So you're going to go from the gym and work out, and then go over there, do our little class here, and then go over there and go and do your lead gen.
Yeah.
Now you have a schedule.
And in between the gym and the office, he's with us, and we can pump you up.
Right. Okay. I love this. I really do, because now you're building a schedule of when I was doing real estate, for me, for my lead generation, the thing that helped me immensely was not having to ever think about it. And so my routine, which is what I'm trying to have you build for you, is a routine. And so my routine was I got up, had my coffee, breakfast, all that kind of stuff. took a shower, and then wasn't leaving the house, so I'd put on sweats or jammies or whatever, it didn't matter. But I always was showered, hair, makeup and everything, in case I did get a last minute weird freakishly, hey, can you meet me? I could, put on business clothes, because back then it was a suit. You get a suit on and get out the door in, 5 minutes flat. But my routine was, I came in and I sat down at my computer, and I didn't have to think, because I knew exactly, because my computer told me, and actually my spreadsheet, my database was on paper back then, but all I had to do was pull it out, slap the papers down, which is the same as pulling up in your CRM, and it said, today, these are the 25 people you have to call. And that was it. I didn't have to think, and I did it for 3 hours a day in the beginning. Eventually, I went down to 2 hours a day, not because I'm a rock star, but because my script got really tight and quick, and I learned how to just buzz through it really quickly. But I sat down and made my phone calls. When my have to calls were done, then my new calls started in because I did expireds. So these are all the old expireds that had just popped up that were a year old that haven't been reached out to yet. So I did my have to calls, and then I grabbed all my new calls, set those down, and just started cranking through it. But there was no thought. I didn't have to sit there and scramble around and go, who am I going to call? Like, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? I had my script book, which had my script in it. And I didn't memorize it, because you don't need to, because you're on the phone. They can't see you. You're not in front of them. So I just read my script, and that's what I did. There was zero thought process behind it. And what I really loved about the routine was, then when I was done with that, I moved straight into follow-up, whatever my follow-up calls were that needed to be done. And my follow-up was done. Then I had to sit and actually think, okay, hang on. What's the project that you need to work on? You have 4 hours left of your workday. What is the project that you need to work on that moves your business forward? But up until noon, there was no thinking. There was zero thinking. It just did my job. Just like you go every day and go to the gym, you just go to the gym. You don't have to sit there and think, do I need to go to the gym? What shoes should I wear? I don't know what shirt I want to. You're like, no, you get up, you put on work, right? Put on workout
Yeah.
clothes. No. Yeah. Same thing with me. It's 15 minutes before I have to be there. Grab my workout clothes if I'm not wearing them, put on my tennis shoes, grab a bottle of water, out the door. There's no thought process behind it. Zero thought process behind it. Bless you, sweetie. So that's the way lead generation needs to get to, where there's no thought process. You sit down, you know who you need to call, what you need to say, and then you just run with it. And if the
Yeah.
first one's clunky, it's clunky. The second one's clunky, it's clunky. I promise you, you can clunk out. If you keep on doing it, you'll smooth out. You just will. There's no way you can't.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
that being said, after you get your space and everything set up, so tomorrow you're going in, do you know who you want to call and what you want to say?
Uh,
That's step 2.
so I do have commercial leads and scripts that I can call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay. And you know what you want to say?
yeah, I do.
Okay.
I have a script.
Okay, perfect. If it helps, like, I know some people, when they're done with their lead generation and their follow-up, they get the list together for the next day. And that might be a time for you in the follow-up time, especially if you don't have any follow-up, to start getting those into your KV Core and get them into one place, working towards the goal of where your stuff always is in KV Core. It's always updated every single day. There's not any loose ends hanging around over the place. And then KV Core tells you what to do and say, because you just pull up the list and you've got your notes, and it's like, these people have to be contacted today. So never, ever, ever get off a phone call, whether they answer or don't answer, without filling in the date of the next phone call into KV Core. Never get off get off the phone. Do not do the next phone until you put your notes in and put in, when your call date is next. Don't do the mistake of putting it down on a notepad and saying you're going to enter it later. This
Okay.
gives you this gives you 2 false things. The first thing is, there's time, if you're going to lead generate for 3 hours, there's time for you to forget what the heck this means, right? And the older you get, the worse I pull open sticky sometimes, and I look at it and I'm like, this sticky right here says link to what, Gina? Right? I have no idea. So don't do this. Don't do what I did with this stupid sticky that says link. The rest of my stuff, I think I can figure out, but that one, who knows, it was dumb. But the real sense with your lead generation, when you're writing it all down like this, is it's not an accurate portrayal of how much lead generation really takes. So you won't be able to do, okay, and the reason why this is important is because if you ask me my numbers were, it was 100 dials a day, it was 20 conversations a day, and that got me 4 appointments a week, and 4 appointments a week meant that I listed 10 houses a month because one would no show, one would this, and I wouldn't get one. So 4 appointments a week meant 10 houses listed per month. 10 houses listed per month, short sales meant 8 of them sold, and meant I had another 8 to 10 on the buyer side, capturing buyer side. Those were my numbers. And it was the beauty of that is when I wanted to increase my business, we were sitting at 80 listings. We wanted to push it up to 150 listings. I could look at my metrics and go, all right, it's either, a different lead source, or it's a different amount of time that I'm spending in, or it's a referral source coming in on some level, what are my metrics and which one can I tweak if I want to take my business and basically double it in a year? But you have to know that. And it all goes back to that routine. That's where it starts. That routine of not having to think. Does that all make sense?
Okay. Yep.
Okay, I'm going to tell you this. You are amazing because I can guarantee that everybody else is going through the same thing that you are, and you're the hero. You're the brave one. Greg and I were just talking this morning about how the world does not have real heroes, but that was a real hero, Craig. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All
I
right,
was
yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just going to type in that if you call from KV Core, then you're already there.
Yep, that takes care of that too. All right, I got to jump. I got a 9 o'clock and it's a Zoom, and I'm like 2 minutes and 25 seconds late. Anna, Gina, how long did it take for you to call 100? 3 hours. It was 100 dials. 100 dials to get 20 conversations. Those are my numbers. And then eventually 2 hours to get 20 conversations. But my conversations would switched out a lot from, hey, this is Gina, and the reason why I'm calling blah, blah, blah. It switched out to, hey, it's Gina, y'all ready to list yet? Because I already talked to him half a dozen times, 10 times, 15 times, whatever.
Okay.
That's the only reason why I got it down to 2, because my database became this big beast that I could work and not always cold calling. So that's why. Cold calling takes more time. Okay.
All right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.